Xbox Game Pass. This is a look at the entire library of games, doing suggestions of the various titles. Basically, what you should check out and take a look at if you have the time. This is updated for early July, so some things will be added, some things will be removed. We did this a couple months back, and let's dive into it. And of course, just before we start, be sure to like the video because this is a lot of work. Subscribing's great as well. Let's dive into it. This is Alice Madness Returns. It's an excellent, grim, dark, and creepy 3D platformer featuring a more twisted look at the character of Alice in Wonderland, but now in a platformer scenario. Alien Isolation is a great atmospheric horror title where you are trying to survive against this menacing alien from the films. You play as Ripley's daughter. It's really, really great, and FPS boosted. We have Ark Survival Evolved. This is an open world survival game with big monsters and dinos. Survive alone, survive with others, work to explore and find secrets, and just take in what this really luscious, intense environment has to offer. This is Astroneer. It is an open world generating sort of voxel type game where you can break into the environment in the world, play alone, play with others, smash things, discover really gorgeous, poly kind of geometry based sort of environment. It looks really enchanting. The Bards Tale. So this is a really cool series. It's basically a bit of a comedic one, particularly remastered and resnarkled. It's quite funny. It makes fun of a Dungeons and Dragons opening. It's quite humorous. This is the one I would suggest out of the rest of the batch. You might find those ones cool too, but just like kind of doing the opening of this one, you might get a little bit of the charm and the hilarity. The Banjo series is a lot of fun. I think doing Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, really good there. If you want a little bit more, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is more like a, building and more vehicle-based, whereas these are more like classic platformer options. And hopefully someday we'll get a new one. Then we have the Batman Arkham Knight. So this is kind of like continuing the sort of the end cap to the trilogy. There was like a spin-off too, but you get the sense of what I'm saying. This one, interesting, sort of open world, messed up Batman experience, and you get to use the Batmobile. Some people really like it. Then we got our Battlefields. So Battlefield 4, big resurgence because 2042 is coming out. So that one's very popular still. Bad Company, these ones you play for the campaign, great story, very interesting. They build off upon one another out of gold for these, like, the ragtag group of troops is kind of after that. Hardline, still you can find some people on. It's like Cops and Robbers, the take on the Battlefield series, so you might find that neat. And then we've got Battlefield 5, which is the most recent game, so you probably find people in it. It looks the most modern. There should be Battlefield 1 also, so I'm not quite sure where that one is, but Battlefield... Oh yeah, okay, that's Battlefield 1. It's just got like some stupid covering on it. That's kind of the World War I option, whereas Battlefield 5 is the World War II option. So really, depending on the era you like more, you can give either of these two a try. We got Battletoads, which is a pretty cool beat-em-up sort of game, co-op focused if you got some local pals. Weirdly off arcade game, little arcade mini games within it, but Battletoads is actually pretty fun to play. Beholder's kind of a creepy, cool, hiding, trying to figure out things about your neighbors kind of game. That might be interesting. The Bejeweled games are classics, I would say, to a high degree. Then Black Desert's kind of a big MMORPG. It's alright, a bit more of like a brawling, grindy kind of game, but I know a lot of people really love it. Great character customizer, maybe like one of the best in the industry. Black is a really intense original Xbox shooter, so you might find that kind of cool just in regards to it being a very different type of shooter. Blair Witch is a pretty neat horror game. It's going to play around with you a bit as you kind of loop through areas. Bleeding Edge is kind of dead in terms of updates, but it actually is kind of a fun, wacky hero brawling, battling game. So you might find that neat. You can get the achievements in not too long of a time, and you can still find people to play with. Brutal Legend is a fun sort of brawling and commanding type game that's got some hilarious hijinks from the lead, which, yeah, that's actually quite funny. Jack Black is like the main character as a roadie in this, and you go to like this demonic rock world. It's kind of neat. Bug Fables is kind of a somewhat adorable, cute, but deadly turn-based beautiful game that looks similar to like Paper Mario almost. It's really quite interesting. I haven't played a lot of it, but I kind of checked it out to do a top 10 for the month, and I was like, oh, this is a neat. Burnout Paradise Remastered, open world driving. It's sort of a classic throwback game in regards to racing. The music. Call of the Sea is a cool adventure puzzle game. You might find that interesting. Then we have Celeste, which many people find is a very challenging, hardcore sort of platformer game. We've got Children of Morta, where you're basically like this family line dying over and over again, and it's kind of a neat setup there. You might find it to be somewhat different. City Skylines, which is the successor to the Sim City series, is the best city building franchise out there on the market. It's fantastic, tons of DLC to go as far as you want with it. Then we've got Conan Exiles, very similar to Ark, open world. It's got the brutality of the Conan series, play alone, play with others. Control, this is the last generation version of Control, keep that in mind, but it is a spectacular title. It was my game of the year for when it released. It is very good and definitely worth checking out. Crackdown 3, people were too hardcore on it. It's just a fun open world game where you can cause explosions, damage, and crazy chaotic action. It's really honestly solid. The multiplayer of it is dead, but if you grab a friend, you can have a good time with it. Then we've got the Crisis series, which I kind of suggest maybe waiting on because they're doing remasters for these. And they've already remastered the first one, which was a bit rough, but they did fix up the remaster. So, maybe wait on these for the newer versions, which I don't believe they're going to go into Game Pass, but you get what I'm saying. You might want the higher quality iterations of these. But if you want to go the free route, you can play the 360 Crisis games. You can go in that way. Dante's Inferno is kind of a gnarly God of War-like game, and it runs at 60 FPS on the Series X, which is kind of nice. Dark Alliance is an easygoing, better than what others say about it, sort of light, brawling, smashing game where you got a few different classes. It's a cooperative experience. It's actually decent. It's okay. DayZ, the expansive open-world multiplayer zombie survival game where other players are more the problem than necessarily the zombies. Kind of a solid experience. I've had a lot of experience with DayZ over the years. I've done a lot of videos and stuff. So this one, a lot of people love. Day of the Tentacle, a bit of a classic adventure title remastered and brought back on the console. Kind of a cool, option here. Then we've got Dead by Daylight, the ultimate mashup of horror IP, 4v1 asymmetrical horror multiplayer game, one killer, four survivors. Kind of really great. It's really fun. Dead Cells is an incredible and excellent roguelike experience. It looks gorgeous, it's intense, and it keeps you wanting to play it over and over and over again. And for a lot of these games, I got videos up on the channel showing them more reviews. Then you got your Dead Space series. These are fun games. I think they're worth checking out. Good horror titles. We might be getting some sort of remake or remaster soon, so maybe wait a little bit, but I do think these ones are worth checking out. These three. Ignition's a little bit of a different sort of spin-off type thing. Deep Rock Galactic, a great cooperative experience where you're mining, battling as these space dwarves. It's kind of really cool. Centers for people that like biking. It's okay. It's not too expansive, but if you want crazy biking action, that one's kind of good for you. Desperados 3 is a really, really well done strategy game. Hardcore strategy, long missions that you do tactical routes to set up your squad to take out different enemies. It's pretty brutal, and it's very, very well done. Seriously, it's a great game. And then we got Destiny 2 and all of this Destiny 2 DLC stuff. So if you want to play it, it's a shooter kind of MMORPG experience. You basically just do a lot of shooting, looting, and battling against repetitive copy and pasted enemies over and over again. So yeah, that's Destiny. It's got Beyond Light, so you basically get the whole package there. Destroy All Humans, great remake of the original game where you just alien causing mayhem and destroying all humans. Very well done. Dirt 5 is excellent. It's a great arcade racing title. It's got this playground area where you can basically just build maps or play maps that others have built. The visuals are incredible, a real next generation treat. The Dishonored series, really great. Elements of stealth, elements of action, great story, cool characters. Dishonored, they all kind of play differently too in regards to the protagonist and the characters you deal with. So it's kind of a neat series. Disneyland Adventures is not for everyone, but for kids, it's a really good option. I think kids can have a lot of fun playing that one, so that's why I'm suggesting it. Donut Country is actually kind of a fairly quick but adorable and weird sort of game where it's a puzzle thing where you a bigger and bigger hole trying to swallow up the areas. Kind of intense. Then we've got our Doom franchise. So obviously you got your classic Dooms, Doom 93. 64 is like an upgrade of like Doom, and then we got Doom 2 Classic. I would say play Doom 3, which is maybe the best of the series. It's a very true horror title, very well loved. But we've also got, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal that play off of each other quite nicely, so those ones are incredibly great games. Doom has really good multiplayer to it if you want to give that a whirl. Whereas Eternal, story-wise, must play, just got optimized. So good. So good. But Doom leads into Doom Eternal, so we call this Doom 2016, just in case you're wondering. You got your Dragon Ages. A lot of people love this series. You got Origins, Inquisition, H2. Inquisition's FPS boosted, which is nice. Dragon Quest Builders is an expansive Minecraft questing type game, which is cool. Whereas Dragon Quest XI is more of like a questing, more serious, mature type of Dragon Quest game. Drake Hollow I actually quite like. It's a cooperative adventure where you take care of these creatures and build up like a little fort, and you kind of defend the areas and move forward. It's quite neat. Sports titles. You got your Elder Scrolls. The Morrowind is hard to get into. That's more for like fans that liked it originally. And then there's also Oblivion, which is not here. I'm assuming it's title-wise is down lower. Oblivion's pretty good. But you're probably going to want to start with Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls Online. So ESO is like the Elder Scrolls multiplayer. It's great. We have a full review. I have a Elder Scrolls expert, Joel, that comes in and talks about it. We'll have lots of coverage for this one also in the future outside of what we've done. But Skyrim, legendary, FPS boosted. It's an amazing RPG. If you've never played it, check it out. It's got mods and everything too. It's great. Elite Dangerous for space flying people. Evil Within and Evil Within 2. Great horror titles. Excellent narrative-driven adventures that are just really messed up. I think you'll like them quite a bit. And they're first party now. And the Evil Within 2 FPS boosted. You got your Fables. Obviously an absolutely iconic franchise. 100% worth checking out all three of these games. You are missing out. People don't like Fable 3 as much, but I like all the Fable games. They're fantastic, especially these two for co-op, kind of enjoyable. But yeah, definitely worth checking out Fable to get ready for the new Fable. Falconeer's pretty cool, flying around, doing stuff. It's a neat title. Then we got our Fallouts. Wow, we got some mega hits since I've last done this this list. So Fallout 3, classic game. It looks better with the improved resolution. Fallout 4, absolutely amazing, love it, highly suggest checking it out. Fallout 76 is a multiplayer take on the series. Pretty great, now that they've added a lot of content and fixed it up and gave it a real story, it feels more like Fallout. So it actually is a pretty solid and or great experience, but if you want true Fallout 3 and 4, and then New Vegas, everyone treats as the holy grail, so you might like that one. But yeah, if you enjoy Fallout 3, New Vegas, if you enjoy New Vegas, maybe try out Fallout 3. Fallout 4 is more recent, mod support, great game. I really do love that one. Yeah, your Feeding Frenzies, you kind of eat creatures, get bigger, and destroy stuff. I love Feeding Frenzy. And you got your Boxing. You got your Final Fantasies. People treat 7 like it's the greatest thing ever made. So, you've got... there used to be 2 versions of 7. I don't know, it looks like one might be gone. Remastered. It's a different Final Fantasy games. Your Five Nights at Freddy's, the kiddos love that. For Honor, which is about like your knights, it's kind of intense, focused night action, one-on-one and stuff like that. A lot of people enjoy it. It's pretty expansive, still gets updates. And then you got your Fortzas. This is track-based racing. This is open world. This is like the best racing game I've ever played. Is Horizon 4. Very excited for Horizon 5, which will be a day 1 launch. Highly suggest checking that one out when it comes. But for now, get ready with Horizon 4. Beautiful, beautiful game. Fusion Frenzy, kind of a fun throwback party game that's like Mario Party. I hope someday they give us a Fusion Frenzy 3. I don't know why Fusion Frenzy 2 is never backwards compatible. Jeez. Come on, Microsoft, get with it. Then we got Full Throttle Remastered, another classic adventure game from Double Fine. Or, well, Double Fine, publishes it now. You get what I'm saying. Biker, kind of intense. Gang Beast, silly, brawling, weird things. Some people quite like it. Then you got your Gears of War games. So, you're going to want to check out Gears Ultimate Edition. Then do Gears 2, 3, 4... 5, and if you like Dom and Baird, you do Gears Judgment, just the campaign, ignore everything else. And if you want a fun XCOM-like spin-off, Gears Tactics is your best bet. I'm not giving a lot of love to Gears of War 1 Classic, but, Ultimate Edition is such an improvement over the original game that seriously do Ultimate, and then 2 to 5, and you're good to go. This game is nuts. Genesis Noir, absolutely insane. I still have to work through the rest of it. But it's crazy. It's like art as a game, just insane. Gotem, you're kind of a goat causing mayhem, being a dick. So some people really like that. Going Under, roguelite, you're fighting monsters as an intern, getting apps and stuff. It's actually kind of cool. Then we got Grounded, a great cooperative experience. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids-esque. Pretty cool, pretty well done. Still getting updated and worked on. It just got achievements, which is nice. Grim Fandango, considered maybe the best adventure game ever created, I think. This is a very highly critically acclaimed game. It's apparently amazing, so yeah, keep that in mind. Greedfall is a pretty cool RPG game where you make choices, magic. It's more like a double A type thing, but it's actually a pretty good RPG. You guys are Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't even need to say anything about that one. You guys know GTA. Let's be real here. Golf with your friends, fun mini golfing action for a group of people at once, which is delightful. Then we've got our Halos. So you want to play Halo MCC? That's got your Halo 1, 2, 3, 4. Reach, Halo 3 ODST. Yeah, and then you can go to 5, play 5 for this, well, not for the story, but just to get the idea and get ready for Halo Infinite. Now's the time to go back and play the originals, and then do 5 quickly as possible and just take it so that you can finish the story and get an idea of where things are at. Halo Wars 2 and Definitive Edition are really great RTS titles, and 2 actually leads directly into Infinite, if you did not know that, so you might find that to be cool. Haven is a lovely love story. It's about these two dealing with an escape on a planet. It's actually, again, very quite nice, and not a lot of games focus on romance to any degree, and that one kind of does. It's very peaceful. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is an incredible narrative-driven ASMR the game, play with headphones please kind of experience. It is so good. We're getting a sequel soon, Xbox exclusive, the next one. It's incredible. Support this series. It is fantastic. Ninja Theory, wow, definitely worth checking out. The kids love Hello Neighbor, so this is actually, Hotshot's actually kind of a decent arcade racing game. You might find that fun. Human Fall Flat, a lot of people love it. Physics, silly, sort of Gang Beasts-esque. Immortal Realms is actually kind of a decent, not truly card-based, but it's like a strategy game with cards that you use as well, and it's sort of like a turn-based vampire-type battling game. Played it recently, you might like it. Justice 2, great fighting game. It's got the DC heroes kind of splintered and fighting each other. Cameo is a pretty good adventure-type throwback action battling game with this character that can switch monster perspectives. Just Cause 4, big explosions, big wild action on a large open world. Pretty cool. Jurassic World Evolution, it is kind of like SimCity, but you're building, well, maybe not, more like a Zoo Tycoon, because it's basically building a park for dinos. Sequel's coming. Pretty great game. Then we got Killer Instinct with Combo Breaker. Yeah, it's a great fighting game. It's got a huge roster, great characters. Support this first-party Xbox title so that hopefully someday we can get another Killer Instinct, because this series is so good. Killer Queen Black, kind of a fun multiplayer competitive game. It's decent. And then we've got Kingdom Hearts 3, it's Kingdom Hearts. Knockout City is definitely worth playing. It is a great 3v3 and or sometimes mixed up dodgeball game. Crazy action, good update support for it already. Definitely worth checking out. Limbo, really, really great 2D platformer with dark atmosphere and some mysterious elements to it. The Long Dark, open worlds, kind of, it's a survival game in Canada. It's got some story stuff to it. Got your old Mass Effects. They do have the Legendary Collection, so you might want to skip all of them and play the Legendary version. Maneater is a great shark RPG. You just can be a shark and eat things, go nom nom nom, get bigger shark, eat more things, fun stuff like that. But the Mass Effects are kind of classics, except for Andromeda. And Andromeda is like, it's okay. But you might want to wait till they add like the Legendary Collection to this. Mercenaries 5, big mechs, big destruction. It's kind of cool. Medal of Honor Airborne. It's a different take on the Medal of Honor series. Shooter, you jump down to the ground. It's all right. The Medium, I really love this one. I did an interview with the lead actress right there. It was a lot of fun. I love this game quite a bit. It is a psychological horror game where you're sort of exploring this hotel, trying to figure out what exactly happened. You're switching between different sort of worlds at the same time. I actually think it's really cool. Middle-earth Shadow of War, fun, sort of, expansive game where you're battling against orcs, the revenge system. Minecraft, one of the greatest games ever made. Highly worth checking out. Perfect for all ages. Building, crafting. It's like Legos, but in a game format. Definitely worth checking out. Minecraft Dungeons is basically like, they call it Diablo for kids, but I think all ages can thoroughly enjoy it. It's optimized. It's beautiful. It's great. Lots of great content support and stuff for it, too. Mirror's Edge is kind of cool. This one's more simplistic, but Mirror's Edge Catalyst tries to do actual story. It's solid. We got MLB The Show. Come out and support baseball on the platform, guys. It is a PlayStation Studios title. Very interesting. Warband, kind of large-styled action where you're fighting with blades and there's horses and stuff. I think Chivalry is better, but, you know, this is kind of a decent game. Hopefully we get a sequel someday. My Time at Portia, basically a farming game. It's like Harvest Moon for Xbox, and you do mining, and there's relationships and different events. It's pretty good. Narita Boy, this is kind of a cool sort of action battling game that's Tron-esque, I guess. I think that's the best I could describe it. Got your Need for Speeds. I think Hot Pursuit Remastered is probably the best one. Heat's okay too. I like that. It was solid. And skip over those. Neon Abyss is actually pretty good. Roguelite kind of game. It's dripping with like neon and stuff. Adorable 3D platformer for Super Lucky's Tale. You got your NHLs. I like hockey. You might like 21. It looks like they got rid of like 19 and all that. That sucks. Anyways, Nier Automata. Great game. Very cool JRPG. No Man's Sky. Open space exploration and discovery. You might love it. You might hate it. It's down the middle. We talked about Oblivion already. Outriders is a really cool cooperative looter game. It's got a decent story. You go to this planet, and then things just get messed up. It's pretty neat. Oh, they got Outlast on here. That's a really hardcore horror title. Just keep that in mind. The Outer Worlds is Fallout in Space, and it is spectacularly awesome. There's a sequel coming. First-party Xbox now. Highly suggest checking it out. So Ori and the Blind Forest, and then Ori and the Will of the Wisps are great platformers, Disney-esque and emotional and dark and challenging. Little hardcore, but they fixed up the first one a lot to make it a little bit easier. Octopath Traveler, really good JRPG, which is like a throwback JRPG experience. It's gorgeous. You can spend way too much time playing it. Overcooked, great for co-op, trying to do kitchen stuff. And let's see, Perfect Darks. Great games. Get used to Joanna before the new one comes out on Series X in the future someday. They are working on a new Perfect Dark, but this one particularly, great shooter. Absolutely excellent. We've got a Plague Tale, recently optimized, absolutely incredible narrative-driven experience about Misia taking care of her younger brother in a place where they can fit up to 5,000 rats on a screen at once. The Pillars of Eternity, you might want to play this because the story lore is going to build into Avowed to a degree, but it's kind of a different sort of RPG game. You might find them interesting, so I'm kind of just mentioning them. PUBG, it's the premium battle royale experience. It's got it's okay nowadays. The Plants vs Zombies games, I think Battle for Neighborville. Well, not that I think, but Battle for Neighborville is the newest one. So you're gonna find the most players there, but I think EVZ2 is the most well-loved, or Garden Warfare 2 is the most well-loved of the series. Still lots of players playing that one. 3 actually pretty good games, FPS boosted options on some of them. Planet Coaster, build your own futuristic kind of roller coaster tycoon environment, pretty cool. Prey is a great psychological story-driven experience with some messed up stuff. Now first party, what? Yep, FPS boosted too. Psychonauts, get ready for the second one. 3D platformer, kind of cool, kind of well done. I definitely suggest it. This is kind of a cool survival game with other players. It's like Among Us, sort of, but I don't know. It's not going to be for everyone. I think the appeal disappears over time, or pretty fast. Quantum Break, an excellent Remedy title if you like Control. I think you'll like Quantum Break. If you liked Alan Wake, you'll like Quantum Break. Excellent title that did not get the love it deserved, which sucks. It's really great. I really did love this one. I like the characters and the story. Very good. You got your rages, shooting, battling, smashing things. Rage 2 is like sort of punk infused. Rage 1 is more gritty. That thing. Oh, rain on your parade. You're just like a real thick of a cloud raining on everybody and causing mayhem. It's actually pretty good. Rare Replay, the classic 30 rare games thrown together. Battletoads, Banjo-Kazooie, Perfect Dark, Cameo. Tons of really cool games. If you like the history of Rare, you might find it neat. Conker's in there too. Recore Definitive Edition, so they've fixed up Recore. I really wish that more people would support this one, because Jewel and her robots are awesome. Really, it's just some elements of the game weren't the best, and they fixed up a lot of those with the definitive release, which I thought was a big improvement. So I actually do suggest checking this one out. It's a color-based 3D platforming and shooting game. Red Dead Online, only the online. We've got Riot, Son of Rome, another one that did not get the love it deserved. It is an intense, brawling, third-person perspective game that has you go through certain era of the Roman Empire where things are not going well against the barbarians. Kind of great. It looks gorgeous, too, still. This is Rocket Arena. It's a fun little multiplayer game. You shoot rockets trying to knock each other out of the area. It's actually kind of fun and quirky. I don't know how many people still play it. Resident Evil 7. First-person advanced horror game. It was sort of a return to form for the series in terms of being more grounded in actual horror instead of action. Although it does get a little action-based, I guess, to some degree. River City Girls is actually like a pretty good beat-em-up. It's got some sick music, and it's actually pretty good. It's getting a sequel, and I think a prequel, too, or something. Or a spin-off. Sea of Thieves, you get to be a pirate. It's the ultimate rare pirate adventure game. Definitely worth checking out. It just got like an expansion that adds Pirates of the Caribbean to it. Pretty cool. Second Extinction, it's an okay shooting giant dinosaurs kind of co-op game. Secret Neighbor is like Dead by Daylight, but for kids. That one, some kids like it. The Sims 4, Live Your Virtual Life, Skate 3. Some people consider the greatest skating game ever made. Slime Rancher, it's adorable. You farm slimes. It's got a love story in it. It's really, really great. It's like Harvest Moon. There's a sequel coming. It's gonna launch on Game Pass. Slime Rancher's so good. Sniper Elite, be a sniper. Fourth one entry in the series, kind of fun. People like SnowRunner. You break through dirt and snow. Battlefront 2 and Battlefront. So Battlefront 2 has a story to it. It's got epic multiplayer, FPS boosted. Highly suggest it. Fallen Order as well. It's a narrative-driven, kind of Dark Souls-esque Star Wars game. There's probably going to be a sequel announced very soon. And then we've got Squadrons. That's your flying game for Star Wars. You do the ships. It's all right. State of Decay and State of Decay 2. Great zombie management games with survival elements to them. I do actually suggest playing them. They're pretty good. Stellaris, kind of a 4-time strategy ship game like Civilization. Then we got Sunset Overdrive, which is an incredible story-driven experience of action, mayhem. It was one of the early Xbox One exclusives. Highly suggest checking this one out. It is absolutely spectacular and a superb experience. So funny, so quirky, so weird. Subnautica. You're kind of doing survival, open world survival, but it's in the water. Streets of Rage 4 is an absolutely incredible experience that is highly something I would suggest. It's a beat 'em up. It brought the series back and did some excellent things with it. Definitely do suggest Streets of Rage 4. Stranger Things game is like, I wouldn't really suggest that one. Then we got Tales of Vesperia, JRPG a lot of people love, so it's pretty decent. Tell Me Why is a 3-part episodic series that I think is sort of important for some folks, so that one's kind of alright. It's got a decent mystery to it. I think you'll find it interesting if you're into that kind of thing. And Terraria, which is like 2D Minecraft. I know people get mad about that, but that's basically what it is, and there's like boss creatures in it. You got Rainbow Six Siege, intense multiplayer-focused action, destroying walls, everything like that. Then we've got Titanfalls. Titanfall 2 is where you're going to want to play. Great story between a pilot and his titan, and also gripping multiplayer. They got The Hunter, Call of the Wild, open world, survival hunting game, which is more realistic. Tetris Effect is Tetris on steroids and incredible. This is actually a fun, quirky hospital game, 2-point hospital. Kind of fun, kind of silly. You build a hospital, kind of a little bit like SimCity and stuff like that. Then you got your Unravels, which has yarny, adorable platforming games. Heartbreaking, but hardcore games. Your Viva Pinatas, play Trouble in Paradise. The game is amazing. You run like a garden of animals, or, well, pinatas, and yeah, it's good. Then we've got our Walking Deads. So this is like an episodic, narrative-driven experience. Play 1, 2, A New Frontier, and do they have the fourth one? I don't think they have the fourth one on here. Yeah, there's another one that's really good. It's like the end of the series. This is the first one, the second one, and then that one. And the Michonne ones are like a spin-off. They're okay if you like Michonne. If you like Michonne, you'll enjoy them, but you know, they don't really matter too much story-wise. Vermintide 2 is like Left 4 Dead with swords and fantasy, and you're killing rats. It's great. The Wasteland series is incredible. It is a gritty, dark, moody strategy-type series. Bit turn-based, I guess you could say, but very well done. Way Out, a cooperative experience where you work together to escape jail. You need to do this in co-op. We Happy Few is a really good narrative and also has survival options. First-party title where you are dealing with Britain where things are bad. Everybody's kind of hyped up on joy because the world is just grim, and you're kind of breaking free. The Wild at Heart is a very lovely sort of Pikmin-esque tale about a runaway kid. Very heartwarming. I need to get my review done for it. Now we've got our Wolfensteins. Play them all. The Old Blood is a prequel to The New Order. The New Order is kind of the first one. Then we've got Wolfenstein 2, and then we've got Youngblood, which continues 2 and goes into 3 when that one comes out. People hate on Wolfenstein Youngblood quite a bit. I think it's a fun title with 2 really messed up kids that I quite enjoy. World War Z, great zombie, sort of Left 4 Dead-esque experience with big piles of zombies. It's getting like an Aftermath version, so I don't know how that factors into this one. Then we've got Worms, Classic Worms WDMD, or WMD, and Worms Rumble, which is more like a live action, fighting, shooting, Battle Royale-esque take on the series. It's actually quirky and kind of fun. The Worm series is good. Wreckfest, great car destruction, mayhem, you know, battling, smashing cars. It's really cool. You can drive on sofas. We got our Yakuzas. Play the ball. Seriously, it's great. Like each one of them, very long, very well done. Start at Yakuza 0 and make your way through the series. I personally think 2 is the best, but then again, we've got this game called Judgment that is also awesome. So that one I actually think Judgment's the best, but Judgment's kind of a spin-off. And then there's Like a Dragon, which is a little bit different. It's a different standalone character. It's a spin-off, and it's turn-based, but it's actually really good. Ukulele and the Possible Lair. That's the 2D kind of game where things change. Ukulele, adorable series. And we've got Zombie Army 4. Great game. Got a Left 4 Dead update recently with those characters. It's a kind of a cooperative zombie fighting game, similar to Left 4 Dead kind of, but really well done. Highly suggested checking it out. And finally, Zoo Tycoon. Take care of those animals. What are you doing? Come on. They need your love. They need your support. It's actually kind of improved quite a bit. Anyways, that's the list. Again, if you found this helpful, like the video, and I'll be back probably in a couple months with an updated one. And that is it for now. Oh, subscribing is great as well, too.